we are talking about, by the way, gentlemen, if you want to join the channel, like you invest $4.95 a month. I actually, you know what? Look, technically, all you bukiaks, you're entitled right now to get yourself a free watch collection review. That's right, a free watch collection review. And everybody who now has a membership, you can get a free watch collection review. That's part of, listen, this is part of your membership benefits. All you got to do is send an email to brutalwatchreviews@gmail.com, pictures of your watches, okay? You see the thing below? You send a picture of your watches and whatever questions you have, okay? And we're going to give you a custom video. That's right. You're going to get a custom watch video. You will get a custom watch video on this channel. So what you do, again, you take a picture of your watches, write me an email, describe what you have, because I'm not going to, I don't know if you have some, but again, I don't want any garbage watches. I only want to talk about, quality stuff, Patek, AP, Rolex, that type of stuff, right? And then you, whatever questions you have, okay? And then you send it to brutalwatchreviews@gmail.com, brutalwatchreviews@gmail.com. That's right. Even HM can get a free watch collection review. Again, all you got to do is send a picture to brutalwatchreviews@gmail.com. And you're going to get a, what do you call it? You're going to get that custom watch collection review video. Okay, now we're going to be talking about a very, very important topic, which is, hang on a second, which is, again, look, we're all about making money on this channel with watches that increase in value. I told you guys before, I'm only interested in buying a watch if it's going to increase in value. If it doesn't increase in value, I want to have nothing to do with it. Okay, so hang on a second. Let me just pull this up. Okay. Hang on a second. Gentlemen's. Okay. We're talking about this, baby. We're talking about Jaquet Droz, the Meteorite. Now, this is a watch. I bought this 2 years ago. It's got a beautiful Meteorite dial. And I thought to myself, you know what? Did the Colonel make a mistake? Again, I got a deep retail, like deep retail. And my thesis was this. Well, first of all, I was jonesing for a Meteorite dial. Okay. The date 40 went bananas. And, went from like 50 to 80 grand. And I was jonesing for a Meteorite dial and, celebrating an important milestone, as they say, an important milestone. I happened to walk into a Breguet boutique. That's right, Breguet. And by the way, and this was the Jaquet Droz. And I kind of was following Jaquet Droz for a while. Okay, look at this. All the peasants are leaving. Unbelievable. All the peasants are leaving because we're not talking about Rolex. That's what's going on. All the peasants, tomato cans, are leaving the channel. We're talking about Jaquet Droz and making money. And guess what happened? So I bought this Jaquet Droz Meteorite dial, and guess what? So my thesis was this: I was getting it at deep discount, deep, it's a limited edition, only 18 made. Excuse me, not 18, 88, 1888. What's the difference, right? It's for the Chinese market, really, right? And limited edition, rose gold Meteorite. And I thought to myself, okay, worst case, I think the Chinese economy is going to improve and they're going to start buying watches again. And that'll be my exit if I do need to sell it. And I was wrong about that. I was wrong. The Chinese economy has been in the toilet. But Jaquet Droz actually is pretty much bottomed out and increased. And guess what? Does this dial remind you of anything? Breguet. That's right, Breguet. Why? Because Jaquet Droz, Breguet, Blancpain, and Omega all use the same. It's like interchangeable parts, basically, interchangeable. And what they are doing. That's right, unbelievable but true. You watch out for these groomers. So what happened was, basically this is like the smart man. This is what I call the thinking man's Breguet. This is the real Breguet. Look at that. You got that small dial up top, which is, again, all the tomato cans love that. The Bogan of Brisbane. He got the same. He's wearing the same watch, basically the same watch, except his does not have a Meteorite dial. But that's right. All these Breguet guys are basically wearing this. It's the same watch. You got that small dial up top, and you got the Breguet. But let's see what Bill Sanders has to say about the Jaquet Droz and why this could be, the next big money-making watch. And this is the concept. Okay, this is we're getting into some real. This might be too intellectual for most people on the panel, but we're talking about. So Bill Sanders did a very interesting video, like 7 years ago. It's a long time ago, and he's wearing his shitter watch, and he's talking about what he calls the new millennials, like all these brands that started, right around the year 2000. Like there were not any new watchmakers for 100 years, basically, right? There were not any, following the Swiss crisis, the quartz crisis. All of a sudden, you had all these new watchmakers popped up right around the year 2000, including Jaquet Droz, Beauvais, which actually have a lot in common. Kari Voutilainen, FP Journe, Jaquet Droz, Parmigiani. Do you see a common thread? Groibel Force.
One of the watches, but I can't say it. Andreas Strel.
With the Amex Platinum Card, you can earn 5 times membership.
FP Journe, Jaquet Droz, Beauvais 1822. My Beauvais 1822. Kerry Voutilainen, Harboring 2, Richard Harboring, and 2 very talented watchmakers, Rubel and Force. Okay, so I mean, there are more than this, by the way, but it's a very interesting thing. They also is crowded between the early 90s and about the next 15 years, from 1990 to 2005. Now, if we look at
we're going to find out.
Jaquet Droz, and we look at Beauvais, all right, so let me take you back to Paris, all right? It was in, I think it was the late 90s, early 2000s. My wife and I were in Paris in a department store, and a woman came in. She was a Chinese woman, and she had these wads of money, huge wads of money, all held together with paper clips. The clerks working in this big department.
Bill Sanders is going to explain what is the movement in the Jaquet Droz. Jaquet Droz. Is it a Breguet movement? Is it a Blancpain movement? Is it a Swatch movement? We're gonna find out.
Department store were just they couldn't take their eyes off her, and they were tittering about the whole thing, like, oh, just look at that woman with all that money. Okay, now the point was that during this period, a lot of people were making a lot of money, and Beauvais made it start. They were starting.
Basically, he's talking. Okay, anyway, look, bottom line is Jaquet Droz and Beauvais both started. I mean, Jaquet Droz, like one of the oldest watch companies, was started in the 1740s or whatever, 1800. It's basically, and Beauvais was English. They made their big money selling to China. They sold to China in the 1700s. That's when they made the big money. And then the British, being British, started the Opium War, and then they kicked the British out. It was a whole big thing. So then no more watches in China.
Started in England, and they started shipping watches to China, and they were making a fortune.
China.
Jaquet Droz started their watchmaking. Well, actually, both of them started elsewhere, but when they really got going, England was the place to be. Jaquet Droz. The parallel between these two companies was just amazing. They both had to do with the trade in China. In fact, watches in China were called Beauvais. All right.
They're called Beauvais. Wow.
So let's take a look now at the
not Bouquiac, Beauvais.
Concentrating on Jaquet Droz.
Okay, this part what they were. You don't want to hear this. Basically, yeah. So this is one of the oldest watch. These people with these fake heritage stories, these fake heritage brands like Breguet. None of these guys are like legitimate, real. They all went out of business at some point. Okay, Breguet essentially is a Phoenix brand. Okay, so is Jaquet Droz, even Patek Philippe, you could say, because the Sterns are not the original Patek. You can say that about a lot of things.
Where they started, the time where they were really making big time money was between 1774 and 1790. And in 1790, it came to pretty much an abrupt halt. The reason for that was that there had been the Opium Wars and all of these other kind of problems, largely caused by the English.
There you go. The English making problems again. The English causing problems again.
So the watch business there went south, and both Beauvais and Jaquet Droz were out of it. They started actually Pierre Jaquet Droz started back in 1758, and I mentioned the 1774 to 1790 because that was at their peak. Okay, now just as a tidbit, in 1758, Pierre Jaquet Droz married Marianne Sandoz. Okay, they had 2 children, Henri Louis, and a daughter, and the wife and daughter both died. Back then, people died a lot from different kinds of things. Okay, all right. So after that, they disappeared. Literally, I mean, that was the end of them. After 1790, the son of Pierre Jaquet Droz, Henri Louis, did carry it on for a while until 1790, and he had another guy who were running it then, went broke. Okay, so it disappeared during the entire 19th century. All right, and then
let's skip forward.
I think they had the dash, and this is how it goes. Now, it was bought by Swatch in 2000, and my guess is, and this is pure speculation. Nothing.
Okay, so here's what's interesting. I did a video very specifically. Jaquet Droz avec Bentley.
Kind of parts of it, if you will, of the whole group. They got Lamborghini, Audi, Bugatti. I think they had at one point. They all use kind of interchangeable stuff, right? Like this thing is from an Audi, right? Now the rubber piece here. This is
there you go.
Sad, but yeah, this is from an Audi. I had an Audi, an 04 Audi. It looked exactly like that. Now
what's the point? What's the point? Look, these companies, Bentley is part of the Audi Volkswagen group. They were making Bugatti. I think did they own Porsche? They own Porsche. I don't know, but they have, Lamborghini. So they own Lamborghini, they own Bentley, Volkswagen, Audi, right? And they interchange a lot of stuff, technology. They transfer technology, all that good stuff. So those things are actually very good, right?
Jaquet Droz.
And the other thing is this. What's interesting is Jaquet Droz was basically like, the Bentley Continental, the GT, the Flying Spur, right? Actually, I'm sorry, the Flying Spur. Bentley Flying Spur 2006, that car was basically the dream of the Volkswagen CEO who wanted to make the best car in the world and using a 12-cylinder engine. He basically wanted to beat Mercedes, beat Rolls, but he wanted to sell it as a VW. It was called a Phaeton. And it was a great car. The problem is no American, because, the Americans are tomato cans, right? The Americans, they got to have, they want everybody to know, that they're rich, right? Everything's got to be flashy, big. They're like that Prince of Porn Valley, the Prince of Porn Valley who's got to have the big, brand new Rolex, Patek Perpetual instead of the classic, and then he wants to lose money. That's the way these people in America think, right? So the Americans didn't go for the Phaeton. So it ended up when they bought Bentley, they took that technology, the platform, the W12, and they just put a Bentley body and interior on top, and that became a genius combination because here now you got a car that can go 200 miles an hour, 12-cylinder engine, and you got all the beautiful workmanship of Bentley.
So Jaquet Droz,
and the Jaquet Droz, same thing. So Nicholas Hayek had a dream. He was a Swatch guy, right? He was the Swatch guy, CEO, and he had a dream. He wanted he felt a sense of inferiority. He had an inferiority complex because everybody was saying, "Oh, you're a Swatch man, Monsieur Swatch, Monsieur Swatch," and he wanted to show them, "Hey, I could be like the best high horloger manufacturer avec planète," right? And what happened was he bought Jaquet Droz, and the idea was that Jaquet Droz was going to be the flagship of the Swatch Group. That was going to be their high-end, high horology brand. That was going to be like their Patek Philippe. That was going to be their FP Journe, okay? That's right. Jaquet Droz was designed to be the FP Journe of Swatch, or even the Richard Mille, if you will. Now they're going in the Richard Mille direction. But what happened was, we'll find out what happened. So basically, they put a lot of resources into it.
Nothing more. It was that they
used the best technology. So we're going to find out about the movement.
To open up something big in the China trade with China. Now that China was emerging as this financial giant, that is even more so. And so they bought them in 2000, and they came out with a watch that was called the Grand Seconde, which means a big second. We'll take a look at that in a minute. By 2010, they had their own manufacturing plant in Jaquet Droz, which was very near the original town that Jaquet Droz was in. All right, so no connection otherwise. I mean, they said, "Well, we'll make it look like there's a connection."
Let's go.
I mean, look at the way the AI works. I'm talking about a car that can do 200 miles an hour, and instead of serving me a Bentley ad, they serve me an Acura ad. I mean,
Visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on a new vehicle.
Ashton was a high-level athlete. She was even at 5.
What is this?
We started noticing that something.
Okay.
By the way, I mean, this is creepy. This is creepy because, we talk about certain topics and you notice the ads they serve up. I mean, it's weird the way this, I mean, the algorithm is really kind of creepy, very perverted in a way.
All right. So by 2010, now Nicholas Hayek, who had just done miracles with Swatch and everybody else, he has sort of this magic touch with that, took over Jaquet Droz in 2009.
Again, Nicholas Hayek. I mean, the guy's a genius. So Nicholas Hayek, his dream was to make Jaquet Droz the, oh yes, sorry, that it is what it is.
And I think he died in 2010. All of a sudden, boom! He had got it. He had this great big manufacturing plant and so forth. Now, one of the things a lot of people think, oh well, I bet since the Swatch they had ETA movements. I got to tell you, they don't. All right, and that would be.
They don't have ETA movements. Okay, here comes the movement. Okay, Memovox. We're going to talk about movements. Okay, this is your conversation. Movements.
Last thing on earth that Swatch would want, okay, because they want to have a high horology watch. They want to have something that they can charge a lot of money for. And if word got out they were using ETAs or something else that they owned, that would be bad. So they were, of all of the people who didn't want an inexpensive movement, it was Swatch, all right, one of their own. Okay, so let's see what happened with them. Now, around 2002, they came out with the Grand Seconde.
Okay, I mean, they start off with some, I don't know, whatever, but then they moved into, hang on a second. I mean, his is okay. So it was like so hang on. I'm sorry. We're talking about the movements. Let me back up. They started off with Frederic Piguet caliber. They started off, but then they added their own stuff.
Is from some of the earlier Jaquet Droz, and he did have some with the Grand Seconde. The Grand Seconde. All right. So now at the time they were using Frederic Piguet calibers when they first got started. Now Frederic Piguet, you probably know, I think around 2010, it was bought by Swatch, and then they became part of Blancpain, and they became Blancpain manufacturer. Okay, Frederic Piguet's movements were made and used by a lot of people. Okay, on the high end, this was considered a high end movement. Right?
High end
still is. All right, so now at the same time, Jaquet Droz had set up these codes. Okay, he had 8 of them, and so what I thought I'd do is that we could best understand the sense of Jaquet Droz today, based on the codes. They have the codes in a way.
This video is from 7 years ago, so they're not even making these watches. But they did this. Okay, so they did. Hang on. So they were known for automata, and meaning stuff that moves.
Now the second one was what they called automata, and this is where they have this one called Charming Bird. The bird runs around and does something. This is another.
Yeah, automatic. It's a crazy complications yeah, I'm going to show you actually an example. Hang on, I'm going to show you on the Watch Reporter site. But yeah, what happened was basically they decided to what they did was they essentially discontinued. They don't make this anymore. By the way, look at the Meteorite specimen on that watch. Incredible Meteorite. The Meteorite is impeccable. This is like better than the Rolex Meteorite. This is one of the best Meteorites out there. Now, guess what happened? So what's happened is the market for Jaquet Droz has bottomed out and is now, I don't want to say it's increasing, but what I believe is going to happen is this. Because they stopped production of the mass market watches, or I should say the factory, they're doing now only really bespoke watches. They've really shifted to like super high-end bespoke. I'll show you in a second what they're doing. They're doing stuff like Bon Jovi. I don't know, like all sorts of crazy stuff, right? Tourbillons with like automata. I don't know. They're doing like they're not even showing you. Hang on a second. I'm curious. What do they have here? What is this? Is this gonna? Okay, so this is. They made the watch for her. Let me see this video. Okay, are we watching this? Okay, let's see what this is. It's a video. The video is not playing. Okay, the video is not playing. So I don't know, whatever. But they're doing like bespoke watches for people, basically. They did one for not Mick Jagger. I think they did one for Mick Jagger. They did one for. It's not working. Okay. yeah, their site is kind of like, I don't know. They did one for again. It's got automations in it. Bushido. Okay, so it's like very bespoke type stuff they're doing. That's the new thing that they're doing. It's sapphire crystal. You know, it's a whole whatever. It's a thing. And I think there's a piece. Oh, yeah, so they're doing basically piece uniques. They're doing piece uniques. That's where they're going. So that's their thing now. I haven't seen. Okay, so this is like, what the hell is this? This is creepy. Year of the Snake. Okay, let's watch this. Ugh. I'm not into the snake stuff. I don't want to watch. I can't watch the fucking snake stuff. Okay. Okay, so they did a watch for Bon Jovi. It was like, I think, a custom watch for him, just him only. I don't know, whatever. They're doing sapphire. What is this? So basically, they're doing this. They're kind of going in this like a Richard Mille direction. So no more mass production watches. No more watches for the peasants. It's only for the aristocrats now. It's aristocrats only. So what I believe is going to happen now is my thesis, the investment thesis is, if you have a limited edition, Jaquet Droz, hang on a second. If you got a limited edition Jaquet Droz, what's going to happen is you're going to have upside potential. So let me explain why. Let me explain to you my thesis. My thesis is now that hang on a second. Now that we got now that they're, when I say limited, you got to buy this stuff. You got to buy like the stone dials, which were made for 88 pieces or less. Again, you got to go the limited editions, 88 or less, not the mass production stuff. Okay, if you get the limited edition stuff, there's really nothing out there. So again, if they made 88 of these watches, and this is one of them, there's probably realistically, you know, a couple of them are lost. You know, they're not going to come out of the market. They're not going to come onto the market, right? So right now, there's nothing on the market of this. There is no, like if I put this on the market, it would be the only one available. Great quality, by the way. I think I'm going to show you the movement in the back in a second. There we go. Okay. Hang on. Are you ready for the movement? There we go. Look at that close-up. Hang on a second. I'm going to show you the movement in just a second. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this Bukiakistanis. This I'm going to do regular speed, normal speed. Wow. Wow. Look at that meteorite. Boom. Wow. Look at that meteorite. I got Kakistan and Chomostan. Yeah, we're talking Chomostan and get these wearable devices. Okay, that's your movement. Boom, the movement. You got a little fingerprints on there. Sorry, but okay. There's your movement. You see that? That's your movement. Memovox, what do you think of that movement? Oh shit. Shit. Hang on. Okay, hang on a second. Here we go. Hang on, where is it? Oh, shit. We're going to get to it in just a second. Un momento, por favor. Oh, I see what's going on. Okay. Okay, we showing it? Boom. Okay, so let me back up. We're showing the Jaquet Droz Meteorite. We're showing you the Meteorite, and then we're going to show you the movement. So there's your Meteorite on the wrist of the Colonel. Look at that Meteorite dial. Rose gold, honey gold. Honey gold. You got a date and a grand second. By the way, the problem with the date is it's illegible. You can't even see it, so small. Look how small it is. Look at the beautiful, the Meteorite's a beautiful. You got two, by the way, you got two different meteorites here. You got two different meteorite specimens which have like a slight contrast. That is very hard. I don't want to say hard to do, but that makes it very, very unique. I'm not aware of any other meteorite dial watch that has two separate meteorite slices. Here you got two separate meteorite slices, okay? Okay, Bear Clooney, if you're watching this, Bear Clooney, Suka Bread, Bear Clooney, I have two meteorite slices. You only have one meteorite slice, and your meteorite is covered up by a bunch of loom, Bukyakistan. This is the way, when you do meteorite, this is the way you do it, where you have a big palette. There you go. Look at that. Unbelievable, but true. Now, here's what's going to happen. I believe what's going to happen is this. We got a floor. We got a floor now because they stopped production. Now it's rare. It's like literally out of production. And so the thesis is this. Because you see those pedals, by the way, look at those pedals. You don't get those on a BMW, right? You don't get those pedals like that. Now, here's a movement. Okay, there's a movement. There's a movement. Sorry about the fingerprint smudge. There's your limited edition, numbered on the back, numbered. And here's the deal. So because now their watches are like 6 figures and up, that's right, 6 figures and up. So all of a sudden, that's going to lift. You know, by contrast, it's going to make everything else that's cheap look like a bargain. Like this stuff looks like a bargain now because, like, hey, you want a Jaquet Droz, it's going to be 6 figures. And here you're getting, I don't want to say it's the same, it's not the same complication, but it's bespoke, but you understand, right? So what is the upside for this? I don't think it's big. I think I might be able to make a slight profit, even though that was not the intention. When I got the watch, I really wanted it for myself, right? And it's the only watch I've ever bought at retail. Again, very, very deep discount, We're talking deep. So I think if I sold it now, I probably might make a little bit of money. Yeah, probably might make a little bit of money. But I think the upside for it is, I think it could be good. I think it might be worth, let's call it, I don't know, 20 grand in a couple of years, maybe 3 years. So, you know, essentially, I'm going to make like 5% on this watch, compounded. You know, it'll be a 5% CAGR. You know what CAGR is? You don't know what CAGR is? You Google it. That's right. You Google it. Unbelievable, but true. This is going to basically, it's not going to be huge. I don't think it's ever going to be huge. I think it's basically going to be a, you know, like a, you know, 20 grand watch in a couple of years, something like that. Maybe more. I don't know. Look, it all depends if China comes back. We don't know. Is China going to come back? I don't know. I don't see that happening for a while. So, and this is a very, you know, Asian watch, 88, you know, the eights. By the way, you notice the dial's got the 8 and all that. You know, it's a whole thing. Do you see the perlage, the beveled edges, the Côte de Genève? I think the rotor is actually pretty cool. The rotor, I think, is really nice. Very well done rotor. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the way the rotor is. Let me see this.
Totally different animal, mass market. Yeah, look, this is a business, right? It's a business, guys. You got to remember that. Don't believe all this bullshit that these brands feed you about heritage brands and all that bullshit with Audemars Piguet family owned. Audemars Piguet, man, what a bunch. I mean, I really can't stand that CEO that they have. Like every time I see this, what a fucking prick. Anyway, their whole attitude, the whole Audemars Piguet. And again, I love the watch, but they only have one watch, the Royal Oak, everything. And that's only the one model, not the offshore. I'm just a regular Royal Oak. I mean, they haven't done anything new in 100 years. I mean, there are other watches. They got a lot of dogs in their lineup. Nothing. Look, Audemars Piguet is really living off.
Wow, look at that
one
meteorite.
watch. I hate to tell you guys this, but
look at that meteorite.
yeah. Anyway, look, the reality is.
Meteorite.
By the way,
meteorite.
what's really cool? The strap.
The comms.
The camera
Wow, look at that. Look at that meteorite.
doesn't do this justice. It's actually really
Look at that meteorite. This is much better than a Rolex meteorite.
great quality.
Wow, look at that burlwood.
I mean, I'm a fan of details. Oh, speaking of details, I don't know if you can see this.
Two little stars.
They have two little stars. So, I mean, everything about their whole brand thing is also, it's really charming. Now, the one thing I don't like, the watch is a little thick. It's a little thick. I like a thin, small case. This is a little chunky. This is a chunky little animal. This is about twice the size that it should be.
Yeah, you see those pedals?
I don't know why. I mean, I'm sure they could make it thinner. I mean, they have the technology. So look, the Jaquet Droz, the motif, 2 stars. That's their logo. Okay, so the eight. You know, that's the whole saying. You know, the bubble. The bubble has burst. But when I was looking a couple months ago in September, you know, I was looking to how shall we say, celebrating milestones.
There we go. There's the watch. There's the watch for you, tomato cans out there. Unbelievable. Hang on a second. Let me go through here. All right, gentlemen. I think we've covered every. You know, we're gonna cover one more thing. Should we cover one more topic? Okay, let's cover one more topic. Should we cover one more topic? Let's do this. We're going to cover one last topic, and that is. Oh, let's go back to Bill. Hang on.
The bird repeater Geneva, and the eagle crack and the other birdies they'll do something, but it's some kind of automatic movement. These apparently were more popular in China, and that was the primary customer audience. The third code was what they called the atelier's art, and this had to do with some artwork on the dial. I mean, rather than just something plain, they were going to put something on there. Here's an example of a painting called the Petit Minute Carps, okay, which meant the little hour and minute. And the carps of the fish. That thing is decorated with diamonds all around it. That's really I mean, they have a lot of these. And if you look at the old ones,
anyway, he's going to
China. They have a lot of this kind of thing in it. So this was something that very, very beautiful watches. Beautiful. This is an example of Grand Seconde Caloni.
Watch cases.
Or about that later.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Okay. All right. So here's some examples of saving mechanisms. Now, having heard they started their first movements with Frederic Piguet, knowing that Frederic Piguet went over to become part of Blancpain, I just assumed, but they're probably using their Blancpain movements. Well, maybe not. I mean, they are, the movement names are all Jaquet Droz. And the more I thought about it, the more I looked at it, I said, well, here they're making the Automata. And I saw this one, the Lady 8 Flower. This is a gold one there. Look at that. They've got like a 2-story movement. This is, whoa, I have not seen anything like that before. And it's also not limited to time only. The 12 cities up in the upper right up there is a world traveler, and you have a pusher there that you can set it to 12 different cities. One of them is Geneva. Probably would be Beijing and New York and Mumbai and some of the other London major cities in the world. At the bottom, there's a chronograph. And again, a chronograph is another type of movement that is something that is not one of these things. It's a time-only movement. All right, so exceptional movements, that's one of their goals. And with that new factory that they have, it looks like they're doing something with it. Okay, minerals, this is they like to use different kind of minerals in their dials. You can see this one is the sunstone, part of their, and then the same style will have paintings or enamel or one thing or the other. Minerals, they felt that was an important part to include. And finally, they have this thing called numerous causes. I thought it was calculus. Again, this is using their number 8 again. And they have editions are limited to 1, 8, 28,
so 88. They're doing a lot of complications. Anyway, guys, bottom line is Jaquet Droz, the bottom is in. Okay, if you get The idea is you got to get a stone dial. It's got to be a limited edition stone dial. So, I was worried about the Meteorite, but you know what? I think I'm going to start wearing it more often and enjoying it. I haven't worn it because I think, you know what it is? I think the strap, first the strap it came on was too big. Then they gave me one which was too small. This is, I noticed that, like, if you ask for something a little bit smaller, they're going to give you a small size, which is like too small. So I'm like, I need to have like something which is in between. So like a regular strap, but I just don't want to have that big thing hanging over the edge or whatever it is, So anywho and anyhow, bottom line is the Jaquet Droz, the bottom is in, but you got to get yourself a Meteorite dial or one of the stone dials. They do beautiful, beautiful stone dials. So if you get a limited edition, again, it's got to be one of those that's an 8, 28, or 88. You're gonna be okay, but you got to get it cheap. You got to go, bottom of the barrel, to get the watch. That's it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave your nasty and vicious comments below. Leave your nasty and vicious comments below. Let's see here. We're going to thank all our show sponsors. We got Baron Davidson, 20 pounds, GD, 20 pesos. Green Rush, Duke Green Rush, 20 American dollars. We got GD again with 20 pesos. This is big money. The pesos are increasing in value. We're going to hold on to those pesos. 50 pesos. And also you became an aristocrat and another 20 peso. And he's given out, he's a Duke. Actually, you know what? GD is now a Duke, Duke GD. He's a Duke. Duke giving out memberships, lifting the peasants from the peasanthood into the aristocracy. This is what is going on here. We got Rich Mitch, 2 pounds. We got Duke GD again, 20 pesos. And that is it for our show today. Thank you. Hang on a second. We got, what is it? What is it? What's the question? What was the question? Okay, no, I don't, okay, that was something else. Yeah, I think, the Beauvais. Yeah, I don't know. Listen, he's got weird taste, this guy, Bill Sanders, is, again, his taste is very, like, how shall we say, eccentric. He's like an eccentric type of guy. Eccentric and eclectic. Unbelievable. Who is the Las Vegas lot lizard? Juanita. I don't know. It's got to be, these guys, these hubcap thieves, I don't know. They got crazy imaginations, but now that they've been deported to La Isla del Cucarachas y Basura, it doesn't really matter, Juan and Kino stealing your money with bad advice. Again, on this channel, we're here to make you money. And if you've noticed, all our watches have been increasing. Patek Philippe, 30, everything, right? And now you saw that the day 36. Which is not even a money-making watch. I mean, it's just a nice, it's just a good store of value. Andrew Morgan himself, that's right, Mr. Andrew Morgan of Britain, of Britannia, has purchased one, validating the thesis we have. And look, they're all piling on. They're all piling onto the trend. They're piling onto the trend, and it's exploding. That's what's going on. And Juanita, that guy, sweet Juanita, Juanita, that guy runs, he makes the same video 5 times. He posts, I should say, the same video at least 5 times. Whenever he makes a video, you're going to see videos he's had that were made like 5 years ago. Okay. He keeps reposting them every month or so. He reposts the same content. It's the same stale stuff he tells you about. The watch market is dead, blah, blah, blah. Well, how come, look, by the way, it's very easy to say that. Anybody can say that. Very, very easy to say the watch market is dead. You know what's not easy? You know what's hard? To actually find watches. Okay, what people want to know is where can they place their money and make money? And that's what this channel is all about. We're here to make money with watches, and we are making money. Okay. And if you want to make money, you're going to get one of these. You're going to get one of these Ellipse watches we have available for sale. Again, you want to get one of these. You Google it. You DM me. And again, this is the cheapest price on the planet right now for these two models. The cheapest price on the planet. That's it. And these are the 3582. You're gonna double your money. Again, that's not investment advice. That's just my opinion. I've been right, as you see, caught on tape, multiple occasions. And, we'll see what happens here. We'll see what happens. All right, tomato cans, thank you. And we'll see you all in the next one.